ganz großes Kino. There's a lot more still to come here.
Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland 2026, round 6, races 11 and 12. We have been looking forward to this one, an absolute highlight of the calendar. For the only time in the 2026 season, we are heading to the streets as we look across the Dutzendijk Lake. I say to you, a very good morning from Nuremberg. Welcome to the Norisring. Conditions could not be any better. 20.8 degrees centigrade. That's about 1,000,000 degrees cooler than it was at the Weissach last time out. And boy, what a weekend we had at the Weissach. It was drama all the way. We had that amazing battle between Flint Schuring, Marcus Armand and Keegan Masters. It ended up with a win for Keegan Masters, even though Flint Schuring crossed the line first. And then on the Sunday, it was another battle with Alex Tauscher and Flint Schuring getting together, Keegan Masters winning. Gus Burton came out of the Weissach going, what have I got to do to get a break? Well, he's done exactly what he needs to do. He's only got to put it on pole position. His first ever pole position in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland. But hey, there may be trouble ahead because the defending, well, outgoing, should we say, champion of Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland is back. Yes, Robert de Haan is here. He is sitting in for Marcus Armand, who's loitering in rainy Asia at the moment. And he has qualified on the front row. But look at this. Sam Yongyan, man on a mission. We saw him move to the top of the rookie standings last time out at the Weissach. And he is nailing it home now because he is starting in third on the grid, his best ever qualifying, and is the rookie pole sitter. But Gustav Bergstrom, such a strong qualifying from him as well. It's an all-rookie row 2, something you don't see that often in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland. Certainly both Sam and Gustav's best ever qualifying. Flint Schuring was red hot in quali yesterday, but as a result of that collision with Alex Tauscher in race 2 at the Weissach, he has received a grid penalty and he starts, well, he's on the third row and he will certainly be looking to move forwards from there because as you can see, 16 points adrift of Theo Overhaus in the point standings. Theo had a nightmare yesterday. He got into trouble with Søren Spreng. They got together in free practice, did a lot of damage to the car, and Theo never really got back up to speed, has qualified a long way down the grid, and has got a lot of work to do. Keegan Masters is the man with momentum. How good was he at the Weissach? Certainly with a lot of speed in the latter part of the race. He's got a lot of speed here at the Norisring, and he is qualified well, but he is just 1 point adrift of the championship leader, Theo Overhaus. Another driver who had a tough day yesterday was Alex Tauscher, third in the points. He is 8 points adrift of Theo Overhaus's lead. Caleb Sumich, another with his best ever qualifying in the qualifying session yesterday afternoon here at the Norisring. So he's starting at the right end of the grid as well. We are set for 2 spectacular races here around the streets of Nuremberg. We travelled about 365 kilometres southwest from the Weissach is where we last gathered. That was about a fortnight ago. And we come back to the Norisring. We returned here after a 6-year break last year. And last year it was Flint Schuring and Robert de Haan who took the wins. And they will be looking to emulate that again. The engines are running. We are looking to see what Flint Schuring can do about the championship hunt because he is 16 points back from Theo Overhaus. And there's one person sat alongside me who has a definite vested interest in this. We last saw him racing in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland back in 2023, where he took that emotional win at the Sachsenring. Since then, he's raced in the DTM. Oh, he's also won the Le Mans 24-hour race. Good morning, Maurice Schuring.
What an introduction. Thank you. Yeah, definitely great to be here and watch those both race. Obviously quite nice to commentate on my brother driving. He has a challenge pointed out for him, starting in the pack. Also my mate Gus Burton starting on pole. Hats off to him. I think it's really incredible for him also to be successful now in the German Carrera Cup.
Let's have a look at the grid here. Gus Burton on pole position, Robert De Haan alongside him. Boy, listen to those engines. An all-rookie row 2. Rookie pole Sam Yongyan, Gustav Bergstrom alongside him. On row 3 of the grid, I'm shouting above the noise, Flint Schering and Keegan Masters. They are very much in the championship hunt. Then Caleb Sumich, a best ever quality from him. Matheus Ferreira from Brazil alongside him on row 4 of the grid. Niels Langeveld and Chester Keeper line up on row 5. And on row 6 of the grid, it is Joe Warhurst, and he has Dirk Schouten for company. On row 7 of the grid, great job from not Daniel Rose. He is alongside Theo Everhaus, who had that difficult qualifying session, and he was thoroughly disappointed with that. Row 8, Wouter Burkamps has Sebastian Freimuth for company. And on row 9 of the grid, about to appear on your screen, Dylan Yip and Max Muschlechner. These are drivers who are learning the streets of Norisring for the very first time. Gianluca Tucciaroglu lines up in 19th place. He has Montego Masson for company. Alex Tauscher all the way back on 21st with Jonas Greif alongside him. Alex is going to have a lot of work to do from there. Tim Reiter is next with Louis Perrault alongside him. And on row 13 of the grid, guesting and pole position for the Pro-Ams, Kai Pfister has Mikael Essmann for company. 27th on the grid, Alexandra Vatova, Nick Ho, another with a grid drop. And then on 29th, after an awful day yesterday, did not even take part in qualifying, Søren Spreng lining up from the back. So he'll want all the traffic to sort themselves out as they head in towards turn 1 at this circuit that is 2.162 kilometers round with just 5 turns. 4 of them to the left and 1 to the right. The terraces, the grandstands are packed. The sun is blazing down. The people of Nuremberg are not going to know what's hit them, because when this lot get going in just a few moments, the noise will be deafening. Gus Burton, his first ever pole position. He's already angled towards Robert De Haan. I wonder what he's going to do heading into turn 1. We're about to find out. A moment of silence before those 5 red lights will come on. We have clearance from the back just to let everybody know that everyone is in position. We are good to go. Race 11, Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland is go! And a great launch for Gus Burton. Not such a great start for Robert De Haan. Sam Yongyan alongside him into turn 1. This is going to be a really tricky 180-degree left-hander. Burton is clear of everybody, and that is someone barreling up the inside. Now, was that Dirk Schouten? I think it was. And he's taken out Sam Yongyan and Robert De Haan. Yes, it was Dirk Schouten. Didn't even look like he was going to be anywhere near on the brakes. Morris, what do you reckon happened there?
Wow, that was incredible, and so lucky for some of the guys to avoid that, and so unlucky on the other hand for Sam Yongyan. And that was just, I think he completely missed his braking point and clattered into everyone. I would not be surprised if we see a red flag for that one, because that was insane.
Wow, that was a massive, massive impact. So Dirk Schouten up the inside, and such a shame. Sam Yongyan, after his best ever qualifying, getting taken out of the race. Certainly no fault of his own. Safety car, understandably, is out. And as you say, Morris, we may well get a red flag. We'll see what happens. It was a great start from Gus Burton, but there's a lot of damage to Dirk Schouten's car. We'll see what unfolds from that. But of course, Robert De Haan as well. He's sitting in for Marcus Armand. I think Marcus said, don't smash the car up, mate. Just score points for the team. Well, that didn't last, did it? Not his fault, though. So in towards turn 1. We saw that moment. We were under braking. It was a good start from Gus Burton. Robert De Haan looked like he'd kind of dropped back into the pack. He was running with Sam Yongyan. Looked like we were going to get a good battle into there. And there you can see, well, the team's just having a look. The drivers will be safe. There is Sam Yongyan getting out of the car. He's getting back in there, but that won't be the race or anything. They'll just want to be able to steer that car to safety. Cars obviously behind the safety car. The clock keeps running at the moment. As long as we are not under red flag conditions, the clock will keep running. Look at Dirk Schouten's car. That is mullered in the corner. Right, let's have another look here. We can see the start. So talk us through this, Morris. What do you reckon might be happening here?
Yeah, let's keep an eye on the purple car of Dirk Schouten. At the moment, it's hard to see where he is, but he either had contact or someone has hit him. Yeah, he just completely missed his braking point, unfortunately, and clattered into Robert and Sam. Yeah, really unfortunate for them, as there was nothing they could do. And you can see Dirk was really trying to avoid as many cars as possible, but once you have that overspeed, you cannot stop the car, and he was just a passenger. And I'm quite sure that was not intentional from his side. This is also what you see on a street track. The inside is very dirty, and maybe more than he expected, just because there's, for 1 year, no one driving there until now, and maybe the racing line was clean, but offline it's quite dirty, as we see Robert's on board here.
This is gonna hurt, isn't it? So on board with Robert, and there is that thump. Dirk Schouten appearing from the left-hand side at the rate of knots, and of course, this is on board on the roof of Robert de Haan, and this is going to be the impact. He is then snooker-balled into Sam Yongyan, and I'm guessing that from the perspective of Dirk Schouten, once you're over the curbs, the car's in the air. Of course, you can't use the brakes if the car's in the air, so he has no control at all heading into that corner. Could it be there was a failure, as we see from the perspective of Alexandra Vatova? Could it be there was a failure, or do you think it was just a case of missing a braking point and going in too quick?
It's really hard to judge. You always have to be careful to think about failures or not. As you see this, it's incredible. Also, quite lucky for Robert not to hurt his wrist or whatever, as the complete door basically exploded on him. So happy to see all drivers walk away from there.
I think Sam Yongyan making his feelings known there. And,
but actually, maybe I was a bit early with saying there was no issue, because it was such a hard hit. It might be that there was something. So yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed that all drivers are okay. That's the main priority at the moment.
I mean, the good bit is we saw that Robert has got himself to the edge of the car. He's clearly had the wind taken out of him, so we can see there him just being taken away just to be looked after. And that's normal here in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland. These cars are incredibly safe. They build them strong at Porsche, and certainly it is routine when someone has taken a big impact like that for them to be taken to the medical centre, and Robert will be checked over. Certainly not what he had in mind when he rocked up here as a substitute driver for Marcus Armand here at the Norisring, but he's clearly taken a big hit there. He'd got himself to the kind of chicken bars at the side of the car and was just sat on those, and now the medical crew will take him away. Looks as though Sam Yongyan's okay, and we could see him shaking his finger. I think that was probably out of frustration. And Dirk Schouten looks to be okay as well. So the clock keeps running. In all of that, well, Caleb Sumich jumps to the lead of the rookies. He's in 5th place overall. Flint Schuring has definitely benefited out of that. He's up into 2nd place, so Gus Burton might have a Schuring-shaped problem in his mirrors before too long. Niels Langeveld, I spoke to him yesterday. He'd had a frustrating time at the Lausitz Ring. And he's like, it just makes you, when you have a bad weekend, it makes you question everything. You question yourself, you question the car. And he had a big reset over the last couple of weeks, and he just reset his mind. He's come back here and was showing great pace in quali. He'll be over the moon if he can hold on to a 3rd place. But bad news for Niels. He's got Keegan Masters behind him, who has a reputation for coming through. And on a circuit like this, we have a really long stretch out of turn 4 in towards turn 1. That's a long stretch at full tilt. The cars are up to about 253 kilometers an hour in 6th gear as we look again at a replay of such a big incident. But overtaking here into turn 1, that point there, that is the best opportunity, isn't it? But how tough is it to overtake? You obviously raced here a few times. How tough is it to overtake into a corner and not create a scene like that?
Yeah, I think that's exactly the part that's difficult about overtaking here, especially when we will see a safety car restart. You want to outbrake the car in front of you, but at the same moment you don't want to clatter into the next one. I'm really shocked with the incident here. It
doesn't get any easier the more you watch it, does it?
Yeah, as you see here, Dirk was really trying to avoid it, cutting the curb maximum, but if you have such a high speed, there's just no way back, and unfortunately he hit 2 cars. We can be happy that it was not a full train with a blockage on the track like we've seen in Macau once. nevertheless, it's far from ideal.
No, absolutely. There's Sam Yongyan leaving the car, and he is recovering from what has been a very lengthy illness, which has affected his mobility a fair bit. Has had a great run of form recently, moving to the top of the rookie standings. So there he is with Dirk Schouten, and I expect there'll be lots of conversations. There's part of the door of Robert De Haan's car. Right, we've got red flag. So you did predict this might happen. So the cars will be brought back onto either the grid or into the pit lane, probably. So clearly there'll be a bit of attention needs to be done to the track. So the clock will stop with 22 and a half minutes remaining. The cars will be cleared up. The track will need to be cleared up. There'll be a lot of fluid and oil and water and goodness knows what else on there. So you predicted the red flag. Good prediction there. So what do you think the main reason for the red flag is here? Do you think it's just because of the amount of fluid on the track?
Yeah, there's that, but there's also getting the cars away in due time. I think race control also wants to give those guys some time to race, actually. And also when we have a medical car on site, the protocol is also to be, preferably on the safe side, as we still hope that Robert is doing okay, which is the main priority at the moment. And as we see the guys working hard to clear the fluid, which is luckily off the line, actually. As you see the damage on the car of Dirk, it's really substantial. Let's hope the mechanics can prepare the car in a good way. And now we come to the red flag procedure. So the cars have to line up on the grid. As we did some racing laps, there won't be a standing start, is my guessing. There will be a rolling start. So I think Gus will be rather happy with that.
Yes.
As that's one of the biggest risks to lose your win, which he's still looking for. So it will be his first win if he can round it up. But I'm quite sure my little brother has something to say about that. I know what he's thinking at the moment. And it's nothing else but winning.
Well, I don't wish to remind the Schuring family of this, but he did incur the wrath of the stewards a couple of times at Lausitzring last time out. I mean, that epic battle. Were you watching the racing at Lausitzring? Because, of course, you were at Spa. No, you weren't. You were at Spa last weekend. It was the week before Spa, wasn't it? Were you watching the racing that weekend?
Yeah, of course. We always watch each other whenever we can. To be completely honest, even at Spa during the 24, I had a small look at their Super Cup race. So we always try to follow each other. I think Flint also knows he's in a championship mode. And if that means P2, he will settle. On the other hand, when you can win, you have to. And I'm sure he's quite motivated to do so. He is in a comfortable position at the moment with Keegan being in P4 and actually, Theo Overhaus being in P10 and Tauscher also being rather far behind. So he has a bit of luxury, but it's also a chance to catch up on some points. So let's see what he will do.
Yes. Well, we've already seen he only needs a sniff of a victory, and he is there. I mean, those two races at the Lausitzring were epic. We had Flint versus Marcus Armand. Right, we've got an estimated restart time in 6 3/4 minutes, so we haven't got too long to wait there. Yeah, race one at the Lausitzring, it was Flint versus Marcus Armand and Keegan Masters. The famous sandwich going into turn one, 3 abreast. That was an epic fight. Unfortunately, Flint did cross the line first, but picked up a penalty for an overtaking move. And then we had an amazing battle again with Tauscher. With Keegan Masters was in there again in race two. In fact, it was a 5-way battle for the lead at one point at the Lausitzring. It was absolute entertainment. And it's why we love Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland. And Flint will be looking to get back his run of form because he went for a run of 4 wins in a row after what was an awful start to the season at Imola with 2 non-finishes. 10th place at the Red Bull Ring, having got caught up in an incident. Then those 4 runs where he was on the top still of the podium in a row. Then a second and a third. That's propelled him back up the championship hunt and certainly very much there. But Keegan Masters has a habit of coming through the pack. I was talking to him yesterday and he's like, yeah, we still need to sort our qualifying out because they've set that car up at Proton competition where it comes on, and he was showing enormous pace. Certainly it feels like at the moment the Schumacher CLRT car is the one to beat, but Keegan Masters in the second part of the races at Lausitzring looked like his car was coming on.
Definitely. I think, as you said, CLRT, Com Ledegaard doing a great job with his cars, as the drivers. And it will be interesting now with Keegan to see how long it will take him if he will get past Niels Langeveld, and then we might see a battle between two championship contenders, Keegan and Flint together. But I'm quite impressed with Keegan's pace all year. He seems to be on it, especially in the races. He's always fighting his way through. This will be a special scenario, also with the tires obviously cooling down a bit now. And then we will have to see also what tire pressure strategy they had and who will be fast at which stage of the race. As we see that there's only one mechanic per car at the moment, just aiding the driver maybe with a drink, opening their door, but they're not allowed to leave as we're already approaching the restart soon. So it's quite hot in the car, I can tell you. It's when you're stationary with the suit on and the helmet, the heat gets to you a little bit. Luckily, it's not as hot as the heat wave we had through Europe the last couple of weeks.
That's where you'd rather be.
That's definitely where you'd rather be. Maybe for the race winner, he can do a small lap.
Yes, dive into... Although I'm told there's some stuff in the Dutzendite Lake you probably don't want to be absorbing, so maybe stay on the boat. When you are racing, and you're in a situation like this, you've had the opening couple of laps or however many, you've been hyping yourself up all morning, you're behind, it's finally behind the wheel, you're getting ready to go, then it's racing, and then suddenly you get this red flag and you're sat on the grid. I imagine your body and your mind kind of doesn't know what to do because you've got the adrenaline, you've got the heat, you're not racing, you're waiting. What does it do to you? How does it feel as a driver when you're sat there, the red flag is out and you've hyped yourself up and then suddenly it's come to a stop?
Well, this is one of the things where good drivers make the difference, to know how to manage your focus, basically, because now it's just that period of being focused takes longer and you just have to stay in your zone, or if it's a long stop you actually relax it a little bit and charge up again for the restart, because in the end the restart will be so important. You can immediately make a difference when maybe one guy is sleeping a little bit. So it's very important to be able to manage that well, and I think that's also a stage in the race where the experienced guys can make a difference because they know how to manage their focus and energy. So it's something that will be important for these guys to manage.
Yeah, and of course everybody sees that opportunity, don't they? I mean, there's the old expression: safety cars breed safety cars. In this case, red flags breed safety cars, because when everybody's bunched up, the cars behind see it as an opportunity, and I guess it's tempting to do that lunge into the first corner or whatever on the restart. Gus will be well aware of this. He's done many starts in his racing career. He's yet to stand on the podium in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland. He would love it if his first ever podium would be the top step. Flint Scheuring is in the business of breaking hearts, I think, so he'll be wanting to relieve him of that top step. Niels Langeveld, solid job in that third place. He's come flying through the pack, read it all very well. Keegan Masters, Caleb Sumich there as well. Joe Warhurst has done well. He's up to 6th place. Matheus Ferreira, the Brazilian driver, looking to become the first ever Brazilian winner in this series. Gustav Bergstrom is in 8th place. Daniel Roos there in the 88 car. And there's Theo Overhaus. So he's up to 10th place. Wouter Burkham's in 11th. So according to my calculations, which need to be held very lightly indeed, if they finish in the positions they are in now, it would be Keegan Masters who would jump to the lead of the standings, and he would be 8 points clear of Flint Scheuring. So according to my calculations, it would be 170 points for Keegan Masters. It would be Theo Overhaus in second with 164 and Flint Scheuring in third with 162. So Masters would be 6 points clear of Theo Overhaus. That's a big if, and my maths is notoriously dodgy. And of course, we've still got a fair bit of racing to come, namely about 19 and a half minutes. Gus Burton would have been happy if we'd just kept this thing going behind the safety car, I expect.
I'm quite sure. I think he's not the most comfortable at the moment. But that's also part of his process. It's all new to him to be successful in leading races, and having that pressure is also a privilege because it means he's doing well. We also see that there's an investigation on car 10 overtaking off track in turn 1, which is Niels Langeveld. So it's going to be quite interesting, and we'll have to keep an eye on that. But overtaking off track in turn 1 with such an incident might be something unavoidable, actually.
I mean, he did make up a lot of positions at the start of that race. I'm just looking back to see where he started. He started on the 5th row of the grid, so he was down in P9. So he's made up a lot of positions, and it might be that if they feel as though he took avoiding action of that accident into turn 1, rather than giving a penalty, they might ask him to give some positions back. We'll keep an eye on that. Right, the clock is ticking, so the race is back underway, albeit behind the safety car. We will get certainly a lap, maybe more, to give the drivers an opportunity to generate a bit of heat in the tyres. Another car under investigation. That's Alex Tauscher for overtaking under the safety car. So Alex Tauscher, well, he's currently in the last points-paying position in 15th place. So he too under investigation. Right, well, we thought that might happen. Niels Langeveld has been told to fall back behind Caleb Sumich. So Sumich is going to get promoted up to 4th place. Langeveld is going to have to let Masters and Sumich through. And I think that sounds fair. If he did take avoiding action because of that accident, that's a lot fairer than like a visit to the penalty box or a drive-through or something like that. That's really good, sensible stewarding, isn't it?
Yeah, I really like that, to just solve it straight away, no post-race penalties. And now Niels also has a chance to rectify his mistake and fight forward again. And also for us, we can see a clear picture and we don't have to think about possible penalties happening. For Alex Tauscher, it could be interesting. Obviously, we did not see what happened there, but it would also be nice for him if it would be rectified straight away, and then he can fight from zero again. Yeah,
then he knows exactly what he's got ahead of him. The race director is Lukas Stegner. He is aided and abetted by Christian Menzel, the 2005 Carrera Cup Deutschland champion, and Christoph Maischak. There's a lot of wisdom in those three heads. Just a shout out to our safety car driver as well. We welcome back Ron Dobmeyer. He's a bit of a legend in the world of safety car driving. He is a part-time fireman, as I've said many times on air, and he's sitting in for Jürgen Kastenholz, who's normally driving the safety car. Right, safety car is in on this lap. So Gus Burton, I should think his heart rate will be reasonably high. They're heading up towards the Dutzendijk turn 4 at the moment. So he'll want to back the pack up. That's exactly what he's doing. His main priority is not to catch the safety car. It'll be his decision when to hit the accelerator. No one can overtake him until they reach the start-finish line. Flint Schering, laser focused on all that's happening in front of him. So in towards Dutzendijk. Gus Burton on the accelerator. He's decided to go quite early. This is the Dutzendijk turn. Right, here we come. This is quite a long stretch here. Will Flint see this as an opportunity to try and make a challenge for the lead? At the moment, Keegan Masters is close enough that if Schering were to challenge Gus Burton, he could leave himself vulnerable. At the moment, Burton seems to have done a really good start. I'd say that was a pretty textbook start, wouldn't you?
It was. You see the gaps were stretched out straight away. Behind us, there's a few cars going side by side, but everything looks to be okay, as we see the car from Tush Vieira trying to look up the inside of Chester Kiefer, which ends up being fine. I think the guys were also warned a little bit by what happened beforehand with the crash, so they're all doing a good job. And Gus has a comfortable 6/10 lead with Keegan and Flint right behind.
Alex Tauscher's making progress as well. So he has already dispatched Gianluca Tucciaroglu. Remember, he is under investigation. So we're settling down. 16 minutes remaining plus 1 lap of this race. It's Gus Burton leading the way, looking for his first ever win. Also, a first ever win for Fourth Racing by Atlas Ward. Flint Schering is looking for his 5th win of the season. So he is very much challenging in the championship. Gus Burton not out of the championship hunt either. Keegan Masters there as well. So the first 3 breaking clear. Did Caleb Sumich get a little bit up close and personal with the wall? I think he managed to keep... Oh, problems there. That's Sebastian Freimer and Gianluca Tucciaroglu. They get together. Tucciaroglu's clearly got damage. It looked like Sebastian Freimer had a moment coming out of turn 1 and took Gianluca Tucciaroglu into the walls. What it looked like to me.
Yeah, I think they overlapped a little bit on the exit. He was just not clear of him, and then they touched, and I think the toe link is broken of Sebastian Freimer's car. As we see Flint ever so close to Gus. I think it's quite difficult with the brakes to keep them cool, and Keegan will be looking for them to fight and maybe create an opportunity. But Gus is definitely under pressure, as we see the car also twitching a bit under braking. Still 15 minutes to go and a lot of action ahead of us.
There certainly is. Well, Flint Schuring was the fastest man on the track briefly, because that has now been taken away by Caleb Sumich, who's having the best weekend of his career in this series so far. He's leading for the rookies. He's still looking for his first ever win, and that's the two cars that got together. There's Gianluca Tucciaroglu on the right-hand side, and he'll be pretty fed up about that. Sebastian Freimuth was on the inside in the purple and gold car, coming out the corner. What do you reckon happened there?
Yeah, he was just not aware of the overlap there, and Sebastian just opened the car and it was not quite clear yet. So I think he'll have to apologize for that later on.
I think Gianluca Tucciaroglu is another driver who'll be wondering what he's got to do to get some good luck. We saw Louis Perrault avoiding action there, and he managed to stay out of it. But Gianluca, along with Osman, his dad, they're wondering when their luck is going to turn, and if not in this race, well, maybe tomorrow. I was about to mention Caleb Sumich, who is still looking for his first ever win in the rookies. He's in 4th place overall at the moment, and there are some fairly animated conversations between Sebastian Freimuth and Gianluca Tucciaroglu. So I think there's some discussion to go on there. This is for the lead. Flint Schuring to the outside briefly of Gus Burton. Burton hasn't covered off, but you saw that as soon as Schuring put the pressure on, Keegan Masters saw that as an opportunity. This is kind of similar to what we were seeing at the Lausitzring, a three-way battle for the lead. We could see a little bit of changing here. Schuring has a little look to the outside, then ducks back in, but Keegan Masters senses an opportunity on the outside of Flint Schuring. Around turn 1 they come. It's the same 1, 2, 3 at the moment. This could play into Caleb Sumich's hands as well.
Yeah, you see Flint putting the headlight flash on Gus to put some pressure on. He's very strong going into this chicane. That's where he's getting the lap time. But also Caleb Sumich is closing in slowly, but for sure. And also Keegan will be looking for them to fight to maybe benefit from it. So I think Flint has to play his cards smartly and plays a move when he feels like it, but he cannot do it every lap, because then Keegan will be looking to benefit from that.
And as you said already, when they're running this close together as well, brakes, tyres, everything's going to be overheating because they're running so close. So I'm guessing there'll come a time when the cars behind have to back out of it to let things cool down. Joe Warhurst is also a man on a mission. He's challenging Niels Langeveld. This is for 5th place, but he's got Mathieu Ferreira behind him. So Joe, the meat in the sandwich here. He'll want to challenge Niels Langeveld, but Ferreira, he's a wise old driver in his young age, and will want to put one over Joe Warhurst if Warhurst does make that challenge. So there's an awful lot to play for, especially in the top 6. We haven't mentioned the Pro-Ams yet. Mikael Essmann having a great race. He's leading for the Pro-Ams. He's in 20th place overall, looking to put to bed the ghosts from last year. Mikael Essmann had quite a sizable accident here at the Dutzendijk turn last year, but certainly doing a great job up in the lead of the Pro-Ams. 2nd in the Pro-Ams, Søren Spreng, so he's making progress. Kai Pfister, 3rd in the Pro-Ams. So Schuring once again has a look to the right-hand side, heading in towards turn 1. It's a long old stretch here. They're heading up to about 253 kilometers an hour, as I've already mentioned. Then the heavy braking. There's Daniel Roos and Wouter Borderkamps going side by side. How's Theo Overhaus doing? The answer to that is up to 9th. He's dispatched Daniel Roos, so Theo Overhaus making good progress as well. A lot of fighting. There's Chester Kiefer, who lost the lead of the rookie championships at the Lausitzring. He's currently in 4th place in the rookie. So Chester having a little bit of a run of bad luck at the moment, trying to come back from it. Didn't have the best of qualifyings for this race. I think tomorrow's race he's in a better position, but he's in the traffic at the moment, so a bit frustrated, flashing the lights just to try and distract the car in front, I guess.
Yeah, there's a big train, and I think he's getting to a stage where he gets a bit frustrated, which is understandable, but he needs to keep his head cool, because a chance will come as he looks to the inside and does a really clean move, actually. That was very nice, up into, what is it now? Into 12th position.
Yeah, up into
already.
12th on Dylan.
So great job by Chester, and eyes ahead as Alex Tauscher also tries to benefit from it. Hats off to this move, because it's not easy to overtake around the outside in the chicane, but he gets it done. And for him it's also about damage limitation and score as many points as possible, as he sees Flint in front together with Keegan scoring points and chipping away from him. So I'm quite sure that he's keen to go forward, as is Theo Overhaus, who is now in 9th position.
I saw there Schuring in the lead. So when we were looking away, the timing screens have updated. Flint Schuring, somewhere along the way, has got past Gus Burton, according to our timing screens. Now, I hope we're going to see some visual confirmation here. And here they are, side by side. But now Burton is back in front. Keegan Masters is challenging for the lead. So what on earth has been happening? While we were looking away, Burton got passed by Schuring, then passed him back. Masters got involved as well. Now Masters up to 2nd, Schuring down to 3rd.
Yeah, this is all about the battle now. You see Keegan defending from Flint, and as I said, Caleb Sumic crossing behind. It's now Flint behind Keegan again, and it's going to be a drag race to turn 1, and this is really good news for Gus, because now he can pull away. As you can see, Flint fully tucked behind Keegan, and this is also a championship fight, so it's quite important to score these points, as Keegan is defending into turn 1, maybe braking a little late, as you see also Niels Langeveld defending his position. And yeah, now it's a complete dogfight.
It's a 7-car battle for the lead. So this is what happened. Schuring around the outside, and he made contact with the wall. And I'll tell you what, Caleb Sumic did well to keep out of that one as well, because you can see Schuring clattered the wall and then came back in line where Caleb Sumic was. There's Sumic on the inside, duck back through the penalty box. And a black and white flag has been given to Keegan Masters for pushing another car. Well, there's confirmation. If things finish as they are now, Masters would jump to the top of the standings. But a black and white flag, it's a warning at the moment. But if he does anything more like that, he could pick up a penalty. That's allowed Gus Burton to break clear. He will be wishing the time away at the moment. 8.25 minutes remaining. Masters, who has that reputation of coming through in the latter part of the race. Schuring was running in 2nd for so long, now back down to 3rd. Maybe he's even damaged the car with that contact with the wall.
I think he was a bit lucky that he hit the wall with bodywork and not with the wheels, so I think it should be okay. As we see that Keegan is indeed picking up the pace, but as is Gus, they're all improving their sector times. Yeah, this is typical what we also saw at Lausitzring. When they're all fighting, you might actually lose a place going back to 3rd while fighting for P1. So I think it's also a bit of playing cards at the moment and placing your overtake at the right time, as I think Caleb Sumic is really looking eager to maybe benefit from others trying to overtake. And you see that Keegan has quite some pace because he's catching up with Gus Burton quite fast. They're all doing close to identical lap times, but Keegan is just ever so slightly catching up with Gus.
And in the background, you just saw Wouter Bordekamps also challenging Theo Overhaus, and he was being shown as the fastest man on the track. So Wouter Bordekamps, he's down in 10th place at the moment, but he's not done yet, is he? You just saw him with Theo Overhaus just flashing through the screen. The championship leader coming into this race doesn't look like he's going to retain that championship lead after this race is finished. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Caleb Sumic, his best finish up until now was in 8th place. That was last time out at the Lausitzring. Certainly taking big strides. The driver who comes all the way from Australia to race in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland in that 4th place. Niels Langeveld in 5th place at the moment. It would be a good score for him, but he'll be wanting more. There's Mathieu Ferreira. So Ferreira's come out the best out of the battle with Joe Warhurst. The two drivers that are in the talent pool that is coached by Wolf Hensler. And so much tuition goes on. I went on the track walk with the talent pool on Friday, and that was on Thursday even, and that was really educational. Hearing Wolf telling them about racing lines, what to look out for, all the little intricacies of being around the Norisring and the talent pool. That is so good. That scheme, which gives these drivers this education and the wisdom of Wolf there walking around the track. And certainly they're putting that to good use. Mathieu Ferreira, Joe Warhurst, just 2 of 8 drivers, and Caleb Sumic, of course, in 4th place in the talent pool. And they're putting that to good use here. But at the front, Gus Burton from the UK, just adding that there, with South African Keegan Masters behind him. Flint Schuring being cheered on my right-hand side in 3rd place. Caleb Sumic leading for the rookies. 2nd in the rookies is Gustav Bergstrom. 3rd in the rookies is not Keegan Masters, it's Chester Kiefer we got there.
Yeah, and you see also that Keegan is playing it a bit safer now, not placing his attack, even though he had a very strong exit out of the last corner, because he saw what happened to Flint and he doesn't want to do the same. So it's going to be interesting if he stays in 2nd position, gives Gus the win or if he's going to place an attack later on. Gus is doing an excellent job, always covering his inside, even setting the fastest lap now, going sub 50 seconds. So he has a bit of an afterburner going on.
So, yes, that's a good way of putting it. If you're Gus Burton, okay, you're leading the way, you've had a red flag, you've had a challenge, you've had a car briefly in front. What is going through your head? You're looking for that first win. I remember when I spoke about you a few times, and there was one at Sachsenring where you were leading until right at the end, and Bastian Boost mugged you back in 23, I think it was. What is going through your head when you're looking for that first win?
Well, knowing Gus and the chaos he has in his head sometimes, I'm quite interested what's going on at the moment. But no, he surprised me in a very positive way this year. And the way he's handling the pressure now, so far he hasn't made any mistake and he's just controlling the race, so to say. So yeah, it's all about staying in the zone and actually making sure nothing is changing. As we see a small touch there from Jonas Greif. It's all friendly combat, and I think...
in the combat colours, very good. Yes, very good. Tim Reiter and Jonas Greif, they're fighting over 18th place, so it's not a points-paying position. But yeah, no, that's interesting. And Gus, of course, he had a podium at Monaco in Mobil 1 Super Cup earlier this year, and he very much enjoyed that. I said to him, I bet you're campaigning for next season to be all on street circuits. He said, yeah, you bet I am. So he's leading the way here on the streets of Nuremberg, but it ain't all over yet. 3.5 minutes. You just know that Masters and your brother are lining something up for the last 3.5 minutes of this race. It's not over yet, is it?
No, definitely not, as Keegan is also setting the fastest lap of the race now. You always see him pulling out of the slipstream a bit to cool down his brakes, which is really important on this place. But at the same hand, Gus is managing it really well. He's always having a good exit out of the last corner, which is the most important corner to nail at the moment. And Flint is looking at P3, ready to pounce if anything will happen with the top two. It's definitely not over with 3 minutes, and you know the track is so short, so they still have quite some opportunities to attack in turn one. Yeah, and Caleb Sumic just falling behind a little bit, which is also important for Keegan at the moment, that he knows he has a bit of a buffer to fall behind P3 if something were to happen. So it's definitely not over yet.
You just saw briefly Alex Tauscher. He's down in 13th place at the moment, so it would be just 3 points for him if things remain as they are. You see Keegan Masters just looking to the side again, cooling the car, but also filling the mirrors of Gus Burton. Less than 2.5 minutes remaining. Can it be that Gus Burton can win his first ever race in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland, or is Keegan Masters going to come and steal that away? Masters is on a roll at the moment. He took his first ever win last time out at the Norisring. He followed it up with another win the following day. He wants to make it 3 wins in a row. Flint Schering in that third place has the championship in mind as well. Caleb Sumic leading the way for the rookies. In the background, Niels Langeveld, he's not done yet, but he's got Mathieu Ferreira and Joe Warhurst behind him. 1 3/4 minutes. What is going to happen here? We are in race 11 of the season. We saw that moment between Jonas Greif and Tim Reiter, and Greif has been told to fall back behind Tim Reiter for incorrect overtaking. Again, really good stuff from the stewards, not chucking out just willy-nilly penalties, but just correcting it on track. It's really good to see.
Absolutely, and then we know what the finish is like as we see the car slowing down and letting him pass. As we have a sandwich here, a McDonald's sandwich, to say, with Nick Ho, who makes a nice move actually. Gus is having a little bit more pace at the moment and edging free, as Jonas Greif is again behind Tim Reiter, so they swap position, and now he can try again to place his attack.
Yeah, Gus is a wise racer and he knows what he's doing, and he will be aware of what is going to come in the last minute of this race, and maybe he's been saving things, cooling things, getting things in the right position so that he can defend in the closing moments of this race. And we are now in the closing moments of this race. 40 seconds of timed racing. And up behind there, what have you spotted?
Yeah, so Niels Langeveld went up to P4, and it looks like Caleb Sumic has dropped out.
Oh, yes.
I think we've lost him, so maybe he had a contact with the wall or something has happened. Maybe they made contact. But Niels is up to P4 and everyone moved up as we're going to go into the final stages of the race now. So a big shame for him. He was doing a great job and controlling his rookie win, and unfortunately he dropped out.
Oh, such a shame for Caleb. Sumich was looking for his best ever finish, and that hands the lead of the rookies to Gustav Bergstrom. There's Dirk Schuten just apologising to the guys at Proton Competition, and knowing Dirk, he will be absolutely gutted about what has occurred. You can see he's fairly emotional about it. Right, here we go then. Gus Burton leading the way. Could it be a first ever win? He's broken clear of Keegan Masters and Flint Schuring. They are heading into the very latter part of this race. Gus Burton now with a clear lead. Keegan Masters now having to think about defending from Flint Schuring, who is monstering him all the way as the cars head out once again into the absolute closing stages of this race. Here comes Gus Burton out of the Duxendijk turn. It'll be absolutely flat out here. There is nothing filling his mirrors. He will see the board that he has been wanting to see for ages that says last lap. Keegan Masters doesn't look like he's got anything to attack with. Now he's having to defend from Flint Schuring. They head around turn 1 for the very last time in this race. It'll be now down towards turn 2. The Scholar S Gus Burton well clear of Keegan Masters, looking in a solid position in race 11 of a 16 race season. They head out towards the Dutzendijk turn 4 for the very last time. It'll be just one more 180-degree corner for Gus Burton. Around here he will come past the Dutzendijk Lake on his right-hand side. He flashes the lights. It's going to be a first ever win for Gus Burton and for Fork Racing by Atlas Wood in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland. A solid haul of points from Keegan Masters in second place, ahead of Flint Schuring in third place, and again really solid points. Niels Langeveld equaling his best ever finish with a fourth place. Matthias Ferreira in fifth. Joe Warhurst, another solid performance from him in sixth place. The rookie win goes to Gustav Bergstrom. It'll be his second ever rookie win. Second in the rookies, Chester Kiefer, good points there. And it's a podium for Dylan Yip in the rookies as well. In the Pro-Ams, Mikael Esman takes the win. Søren Spreng from the very back, second in the Pro-Ams, and third will be Kai Pfister. We knew the audience were going to be entertained, and they were entertained today, weren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Big congrats to Gus for his first win. Super happy for him, and he controlled the race in such a mature way. He did a really good job. So did the top 3 in total. Also Keegan Masters and obviously my little brother Flint. They all did very well. And it was a great show, obviously, after that unfortunate incident in the beginning, and the championship is getting closer and closer as
It really is.
Theo went into P8, so he did some damage limitation. So did Alex Tauscher. So it's all up for grabs.
Absolutely. As we see the classification there, all very much subject to confirmation, but I don't think there's anything. Alex Tauscher, we haven't seen anything else of the investigation from him, but some great racing there. We've often said a champion is how good are your bad days. That defines a champion. And on paper, Flint Schuring's day today did not start off well. He started off with that grid drop, which was a hangover from the Lausitz Ring, and he's turned that into a third place. You got Keegan Masters, who's had 2 wins on the bounce and a second place as well. Gus Burton stealing maximum points and keeping himself in the championship hunt as well. Onto the roof of the car goes Gus Burton. He has really worked hard for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Black Helmet. So happy for him, you know, doing a full double season at the moment. He deserved that so much, together with his engineer and the team celebrating that result. I can just relate to how good that feels, and I'm sure he's gonna watch back this moment for many, many times.
Absolutely. And Christopher Zirkling, who's been doing an element of advising and coaching. I mean, can anybody coach Gus Burton? I'm not sure. There is Christopher there with the white hat, who just celebrates with Gus. Gus, who has an amazing Instagram account. I would recommend you go and follow it. It's really funny most of the time. It's going to be a good one from this race, I reckon. They're subject to confirmation, but Flint Schuring, 19 points back. Theo Overhaus, 11 points back. Alex Tauscher, 23 back. So Tauscher that's been a tough day for him, and he's got more drama tomorrow because he's a long way back for tomorrow's race as well. There is Keegan Masters, very much launching himself into the championship hunt by jumping to the very top. So that is a good day at the office for Keegan Masters. He's got a good qualifying position for tomorrow's race as well. Anybody who thought that this championship was going to be won by the Nuremberg, very much mistaken. As was the case last year, this could go all the way to the last race, couldn't it?
Yeah, when you see what happens lap after lap, basically, when someone tries to overtake for P1, drops back, and also new guys coming in, like Gus, like we've seen. So I think we are far from over, and there's a lot still to come action-wise.
I think with this new Cup car and with ABS for the first time this year, I think the level of competition has been insane. I would describe it as bruising in places. I mean, it has been really tough racing, but it has been such good racing. We all wondered how we were going to cope with ABS, whether it would sanitize the racing. Well, far from it. We are getting battles for the lead with 3 5-car battles for the lead. There is Flint Schering in third place for Schumacher CLRT. Great slow-mo there. Good points haul and good, I wouldn't even say damage limitation, because that is a solid drive by any stretch of the imagination. Keegan Masters to the top of the championship. The man in black from South Africa follows up his double win from last time out with a second place. But it's a top step of the podium for the first time, not only for Gus Burton, but also for Fork Racing by Atlas Ward. We've seen Fork Racing over the years, many times over the years, in Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland, and Robert Lucas was racing for them quite a few years ago. I was chatting to Burkhard Bechtel about it just before we came on air, but as far as we can remember, we don't believe that Fork Racing have ever stood on the top step of the podium in this series. So that will be party time in Nuremberg tonight, I should think, for that team.
Yeah, definitely. With such a great weekend as well, many fans. We saw full grandstands already. Good weather, so it was a great day for them, and I'm quite sure Gus will also remember this for a very long time. And I'm hoping for him he can surf on this momentum and make some progress also in his championship tally.
Well, we saw how good he was early on in the season. In Imola, it was an unfortunate mistake on the first lap. I said I wouldn't remind him of that. But he has shown so much pace, but he's not been able to turn it into consistent results. A fourth was his best up until now. We've seen him in Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup. We saw him for a few years there. We've seen him guesting in Carrera Cup Benelux. That was back in 2023. He was a race winner in Porsche Carrera Cup North America. He was the rookie champion in Porsche Carrera Cup Great Britain back in 2022. Came through Ginetta Juniors. What a great training ground that is as well. He's come through Clio Cup. But this, I mean, how does this compare? Would you have third place at Monaco or top step at the Norisring?
Well, they say it's the German Monaco, right? So
yeah,
maybe he had a bit of both now. I think he'll take any trophy at the moment. Yeah. I heard he had quite a good party in Monaco, so maybe he can replicate that here at the Norisring. I'm not sure what the partying scene is like.
I would say, can I get an invite, please? But I've got to work tomorrow, so maybe not. There's a lovely view over the Dutzendijk Lake, and the crowd's still pouring here at this amazing circuit. Of course, we're on the DTM platform. It's race 11 and 12 of the season. After this, we're going to be heading to the Nürburgring in August, and we've got quite a long break before the championship decider in Hockenheim in October. But this is a championship that has given and given, and Keegan Masters. Well, I won't say he got off to a slow start of the season, because he was winning and he was on podiums for the first 4 races of the season, but it took until 2 weeks ago to take his first win, then make that wins. Now following that up with a second place here at the Norisring. But there is Gus Burton. He looks in disbelief himself, really, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He works really hard for it, and I'm really happy for him and his family that they made it work. Also with his sister managing him, they're quite invested as a family. So it's great to see, and the hard work is paying off.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I'm very happy for Fourth Racing by Atlas Ward as well, who take their first win. And they prepare that car. They prepare several cars on the grid. But that's the one that's come out on top. And Gus, I think he's running for GP Elite, isn't he, in Super Cup. So he's having to learn two teams. And Fork are the ones that have given him the first win. So we're now waiting for the podium ceremony to start. And there's Gus trying to act cool in the sunshine. Inside, he will be partying. So there's Flintschuring, another trophy. Do you have a warehouse that you keep all your trophies in? There must be an awful lot of them.
Yeah, we have quite a few standing at home at the moment.
Any room for anything else? Can't see the telly. There's a trophy in the way. Flint, he's not looking overjoyed, but he's got to be pretty happy with that. Right, second up, jumping to the top of the standings. Keegan Masters, really consistent with his driving at the moment, and he jumps onto the second step of the podium. And now, in the German sunshine, this is going to be one he will remember forever. Gus Burton to the top step of the podium. I mentioned a little earlier Robert Lucas, who used to race for Fork Racing. He's now the team manager, and I do believe he's going to be coming out to receive a trophy on behalf of Fork Racing. So here he comes, a former racer himself, and he sees possibly a protege taking that win. So now it's the Great Britain national anthem. Brilliant stuff, and Gus deserved that on only his 11th start in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland, his first ever podium, and the best step that there is. So, presenting the third place trophy, Michael Mailander, the head of sponsoring for Veltins.
Another trophy for Flint in the back.
He's not looking particularly ecstatic by it at the moment. Do you think he's expecting better?
Yeah, I think he would have liked to win this race. Nevertheless, like you said, you win a championship on your least worst races, let's put it that way, and he did a great job, so
certainly did.
All good.
Keegan gets the second place trophy from Torsten Rucker, project manager, custom sport, Porsche Deutschland, and then Michael Mailander again. Presenting that winning trophy to Gus Burton. GP Elite are looking on going, oh man, there he's in another team. So Gus will hold the trophy high. There is the trophy to Robert Lucas for the team, for Fork Racing. And the pose for photos before the celebrations start. Well, you'd like to think that Gus is going to be partying into the early hours of the morning, but knowing Gus, he'll be out probably running at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, getting himself fit. No drinking here, maybe tomorrow night instead. But at the moment, here from the Norisring, the headline from race 11 of the season, Gus Burton is a winner in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland. The championship lead goes the way of Keegan Masters. Flintschuring picks up a haul of points as well. But we'll be back again tomorrow because we get to do it all again. It may well be an entirely different script because rumour has it that Flintschuring is starting from a very strong position tomorrow and may well be in contention once again for the top step of the podium.
He very well might be. So let's see. We also saw a lot of action in the beginning. So I think we have a great show coming up.
Brilliant stuff. Well, I do hope you enjoyed part 1 of our trip to the Norisring. We get to do it all again tomorrow. Looking at the weather forecast, that might have some effect as well. Whatever you're doing tomorrow, make sure you are here 20 past 11 local time for the next race in this wonderful season of Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland.
Still to come here.